Now I see you.
How
What's
you
up?
doing? You good?
Good, good. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Good, good.
Steve Overland, man, like I said, I know that name. I know that name because I owned a site called RockEyez. And then I did a search on my site. And in 2009, we reviewed Diamond Dealer,
Ah, yeah, yeah.
and my writer, Mark Ballo, gave it 4 out of 5 stars. So you're a
Oh,
star.
fantastic.
You
Fantastic. There you go. Perfect.
Cool,
Perfect.
cool, cool, cool. Now we have Kings of Mercia. Battle Scars, name of the album on Metal Blade, just came out last month. Have you read any reviews or anything yet?
Yeah, I mean, it's been really well received, Brian. It's the first album was really well received. This one, it's just, I think it's just that thing where it's a merging of two kind of different styles. So there's nothing else really out there like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because obviously Jim Matheos, Fate's Warning, sort of very proggy, bit much darker than what I normally do, which is with FM. I got back from a European tour last night. We came back from Greece. And it's what we do is much lighter, but the two styles merge fantastically well. I think and that's Jim's doing really. Jim came up with the initial idea. That's what he wanted to do. So I really love doing it. I love doing it. I'm really proud of it.
cool, cool. Now you've been in music over 30 years. That's amazing.
Much
Yeah,
longer, man.
yeah. Well,
Yeah,
over 30 years.
over 40. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, I just retired this year, so I was at my job 46 years. So,
Wow, what's retirement? What's
uh,
that mean?
yeah, you're right. If you own a house, you own a business, it don't ever stop. You got kids, whatever, you know.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Exactly. Exactly.
Cool, cool. So let's get into Battle Scars a little bit, and I'll go down each track. Tell me if anything special happened in the recording studio, anything about the song or your feelings about it. Okay.
Sure. Sure.
Cool, cool. First track is Guns and Ammunition. Tell me a
Yeah.
little bit about it.
Well, that was the first song written for the album. We did the first album, which went great, really well received, and I just had. I think it was the great thing about Kings of Mercia is the music that Jim sends me kind of dictates to me what I should write the song about. You
Right.
know,
Uh-huh.
um, and you. So I know it probably sounds a bit obvious, Brian, but things are not that great in the world at the moment, are they? You know,
No, not at all. Could
and
be
and
worse. Could be worse with a new president coming for us. Yeah. So who knows?
but so when Jim sent me the backing track to that song, it's a real anthemic, powerful sounding track.
Right.
So I had to have a powerful subject matter, and what it was, to be honest, I sat here one night. I got back off the road, so I hadn't seen any news
Right.
because I don't watch TV when I'm on the road. I don't get the chance really.
Right. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
put the news on, and it was just like one war after another. And I just thought this is just unbelievable. So it kind of what we get fed and what we see and what happens in the world. It just I've got to write a song about that. And it was the first thing Jim had sent me,
Right.
and that's where Guns and Ammunition came from. You know, um, and that's how it came about. And it works great with the track. It's that kind of song, and so I think, yeah, that's where that came from.
Cool. Cool. How about Eye for an Eye?
Well, Eye for an Eye is sort of in a way, I mean, with Kings of Mercia, it's kind of an angsty band. So if
Right.
you're going to get close, if you're going to write about a relationship, it's normally not about getting back together or how much you miss each other, it's how much you hate the other person.
Yeah. Right.
So
Yeah.
I think basically, Eye for an Eye is a payback song from a
Right. Right.
relationship. That's
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
it is. Or if you do that to me, I can do it back to you. That
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Right.
So that's basically what it's about.
Wow. Wow. Between Two Worlds, which is my favorite track.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that song. It's kind of got a different vibe for Jim. You
Uh-huh.
know, um, you know, and that's about someone that's basically lost.
Right.
You know, they've got to refine themselves. It's about we all get lost at points in our lives, don't we? You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
And then we find the next path. But you know, this is about a guy that is looking. He's caught in between what he wants to be. You
Right.
know,
Yeah.
so
Uh-huh.
it's about trying to find the next adventure, the next place he's going to go. You know,
Right. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's what the song's about. And well, I really love that track. I'm glad you picked on that one. I just think the chorus is kind of like a totally different vibe of what Jim normally writes. You
Right.
know,
Yeah. Yeah.
and no, I love that song. Right, I'm glad it's one of your favorites. I
Yeah.
love it too. You know,
Yeah. Me too. Yeah. How about Legend?
legend. Well, it's pretty much about what I guess we are. Not well,
Right.
I'm not a legend, but you know, it's about fame. It's about
Right.
fame. You know, it's like I Am Legend basically is the opening, and that basically is saying when you get to that stage, luckily I'm not quite a legend, but
Right.
but it's about people that are,
Right.
where
Yeah.
all the things that you can basically do in normal life are taken away from you.
Right. Yeah. Wow.
You can't live a normal life. You can't walk down the street. You can't do this. It's about, you know, somebody that's basically fame that they've found the ultimate fame, but do they really enjoy it
Right.
when they
Yeah.
have, you know?
True. Yeah.
And
Definitely.
so that's what Legend's about, you know.
Cool. Cool. How about Battle Scars, and why'd you pick that as the title?
Well, Battle Scars is a very relevant song. I mean, it was basically a very sad track. When Jim sent me the backing track,
Uh-huh.
I thought um, the obvious thing I would write if I was writing for FM, I would
Right.
write a love song,
Uh-huh.
but I didn't want to because it's too obvious, and that's not what Kings of Mercia are. So I thought about it for a while, and then I saw a documentary. I mean, TV is a great influence if you got that on. I wasn't really paying much attention to it. It was about post-traumatic stress disorders. So these people that come back from wars around
Right.
the world and can never ever. There were interviews with these guys that had come back to try and reunite with their families and lead a normal life, but
Right.
because of what they'd been through and what they'd been through in the past 2 or 3 years, whatever war they were fighting, they couldn't settle back into it.
Right.
And no
Yeah.
matter what happened, no matter how much therapy they had, it basically haunted them through their lives and probably was going to continue to haunt them. So Battle Scars is about that, really. You
Right.
know,
Yeah.
and the video we shot for it is that theme, and it's about that because it's a very sad thing, isn't it? You know,
Right. Yeah.
when people can't escape something that's happened to them in the past and just can't go back to what they were before it.
Right. Yeah.
So, that's what I wrote the song about. Once again, the documentary really touched the nerve with me. I thought it would be great because it's sad, but it's not a love song, you
Right.
know.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
So that's where that came from, Brian. That one,
Cool. Do you ever get the feeling like no matter where you show up, they expect you to have your guitar with you?
absolutely, yeah,
Right?
yeah. I try and avoid that
Yeah.
if I can,
I'm
but
just asking because I'm a photographer too on the
yeah,
side, and like I show up and they go, you got your camera? Like,
yeah,
no,
exactly, yeah.
I was invited, not the camera,
Yeah, yeah,
you know,
that's exactly it. Yeah,
you
that's it,
know?
man. I went to the guy that helped to put Kings of Mercy together was a journalist called Dave Ling. He's a
Uh-huh.
very famous journalist here in the UK. Jim contacted Dave to get to me to form the Kings of Mercia band,
Yeah.
Um, and years ago, obviously on a drunken night out with Dave,
Uh-huh.
he said to me, "If I ever get married, Steve, I want you to sing at my wedding." And because I'd had a few beers, or I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah,
yeah, Dave, thinking he would never get married,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know. But
Yeah.
then I got the call about I got invited to his wedding, forgetting that I was supposed to sing, and I
Oh,
ended up singing, announcing the first dance. I became the wedding compere, and that's the thing is that because they think, well, this is what you do, so you
right.
want
Yeah,
to do
yeah.
it all of the time, yeah, but
Yeah,
you
yeah,
don't,
yeah, yeah.
you
Right.
know.
Yeah. Yeah. I get the same thing. You want to come to the party, make sure you bring your camera.
Yeah,
Like,
that's it. Yeah, brilliant.
so,
Yeah.
so how about the next track? Don't ask.
Don't ask is blimey, I have to think back to where that came from. Um, well, I think there's probably from what I remember because that was an early song. It's also about things that are going wrong in the
Right.
world. It's another one of those songs.
Uh-huh.
what it was when we started this record was when all the stuff was kicking up on the Ukraine. There was a lot of bad shit started to
Yeah,
happen in the world, and I think I saw it every night. And when I wasn't on tour, that's what I got, and people were talking about it. And I think "Don't Ask" is another song. Don't ask me how I can put this right.
right. Yeah.
How
Wow.
we're gonna make this right, because it just keeps spiraling. Everything spirals, doesn't it? One thing leads to another. So "Don't Ask" is about, you know I have no idea how we can take things back, turn back the clock, and make it right. I have
Right.
no idea. And that's what "Don't Ask" was about, the initial thing.
Wow. I don't know if any of these wars are ever going to end. The one in Israel and the one
Oh
in
man,
Ukraine.
well, when you're dealing with a terrorist war, there's no actual army, is there, to
No,
fight?
no, nope.
So how can you win it?
Yeah,
How can you win it? And as we know from past wars that have been, and with terrorist groups,
right,
you never can win, because when you think you've defeated one kind of aspect of it, there are new ones coming through all
right.
the time,
Yeah,
being recruited. And so I don't. I think it's gonna go on a long time, Brian. I think it's gonna be
yeah,
a bit of a mess,
yeah, yeah.
which is terrible. Do you know what? I've got to the point now, man, where I try not to watch the news.
Me too. Same thing. Same
Because
thing.
I'd like to hear something uplifting,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
you just don't, do you?
No, you don't.
So
You go through a whole hour, whatever, and like, is there anything good?
yeah,
You
that's
know,
it.
not
That's
even
it.
the
So
weather. You know.
yeah, that's it. Even the weather's shit here, so you got nothing good.
Yeah,
Basically
yeah.
from about September till next April, I'm going to
Right.
be wet.
Right.
So
Yeah, yeah. Wow, 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 wow. Wow. How about the next track, Aftermath?
Aftermath. Well, that one, it's the darkest song I've ever written,
Right. Yeah.
and it came to me. Jim sent me the backing track, and obviously that one had to be the darkest subject matter. So I sat around for a while thinking about it. I went away with the backing track on some dates, and it's pretty gruesome. These are all pretty gruesome, but basically, I thought the darkest thing I can think about is the end of the world,
Right. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's what it's about. The aftermath.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
about what once was a vibrant place, and what a vibrant world. There will be nothing left of it. There'll be
Right.
nothing left. And if you listen to the lyric, that's what it's all about.
Right. Yeah. 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 How about Hell and Back?
Helen Back is another angsty relationship song.
Uh-huh.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, basically, as I say, if there's anything to do with relationships in Kings of Mercia, it's always like, oh, I want to kill you kind of relationship.
Yeah. Yeah.
You want to kill me, I want to kill you, and that's this guy's been to hell and back, and he's
Wow.
not going to be doing it again. It's that kind of thing. So, that's simply what it's about.
Right. 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 How about Cold?
Cold, God, blimey. See, the thing is, because I've been away for a month on the road,
Uh-huh.
so I
Uh-huh.
haven't listened to the album. So it's like, Cold was another early song. You know what, man? I can't remember what I wrote it about. I can't remember, but
Wow.
I would imagine that Cold, because bear in mind the album's been recorded a while,
Right. Yeah.
and because we've all been very busy getting to the final goalpost to get it done, it's taken a
Right.
while. So the writing process started a year and a half ago. you
Wow.
know.
Yeah.
So some of
Yeah.
them, I think, Cold is about another angsty relationship thing.
Uh-huh.
I think,
Right. Yeah.
but
Yeah. Yeah.
you'd have to. I'm going to be running downstairs now and checking the lyric when we get off, when we finish the interview.
Cool. Cool. How about Angels and Demons? Last track.
Angels and Demons is about the fact that we all have angels and demons, don't we?
Yeah.
We all need angels, but we all have things that from the past or something. I'm not. I tend to move on in life, but there are always some things, whether they're very sad things about your family or anything, and
Right.
everybody has both of those things in their life.
Right.
I
Yeah.
thought it was very apt to write a song about it.
Right.
Whether the demons can be people you've lost, they can be anything, can't they? In
Right. Yeah.
your psyche, basically. And so that song was about something that I think everybody has.
Right.
To what extent they have it, I don't know. But everybody has angels and demons. Everybody has something that uplifts them, but everybody also has something that haunts them in life.
Yep.
And
Always.
That's what that song's about, you know.
Yeah.
Your camera haunts you. You need to leave it at home more, you know.
Yeah. Definitely
Yeah.
have demons because like things in the past that you think of,
Yeah.
you sometimes say, I shouldn't have done that,
Yeah.
and
It
it'll
can be.
bother you.
Yeah, the demons. That's a good analogy. I mean, the demons can be bad decisions.
Right.
They can be things like, as I say, silly small things, but they are all demons. You'll have a memory of something you thought, why did I do that? Why did I take that path? And then you'll have something you think about the great things that you've done, the just great decisions you've made in your life.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So basically, we all have things that we regret, and we all have things that we think that was amazing. I'm glad I did that, and that's what Angels and Demons is about, really.
Yeah. So, how was Firefest?
Do you know what, man? I loved it.
Uh-huh.
Because I did. It was the first show I've done for my solo albums, and I managed to fit it in between the touring. And I was very fortunate to have a great band. I put a great band together to do it. And it was a lovely, different challenge for me, Brian, getting this, because it's different. It's very technical, the solo stuff. It's a bit more like a kind of a Toto-y kind of vibe to it.
Right.
So I only had 3 days rehearsal. The guys, Robert Sal flew in from Sweden. I managed to get Neil, who's a great guy, great friend, who's the bass player with Queen and Adam Lambert. He played bass for me. I just had a great band, and I did the original keyboard player from FM. He was sung. So they'd done their homework. So when we got into rehearsal, the songs came alive very quickly, And I loved every minute of the show. There were fans from all over the world, FM fans and people that knew my career. And it was great, a great buzz. I'd like to do some more of them next year if I can fit them in, with the same band. It'd be great.
Cool. Reading research on you this morning and stuff like that. What's the feeling like you being compared to Paul Rodgers and Glenn Hughes?
Oh, it's fantastic. I know Glenn very well. I've met Paul because of my connections way back with Simon Kirke, and I still do stuff with Simon Kirke, the drummer from Bad Company. So, to be compared to those two singers is no bad thing. No bad thing at all.
No, not at all.
So I'm quite happy with that. I'm quite happy with it.
Cool. Tell me a little bit about a past thing called Iron Maiden tribute album, and you did some tracks on that. Tell me a little bit about that. Yeah.
Well, back in the day, I knew a producer called Lee Hart, and Lee had this deal with this very, very big Japanese label, and I did a lot of these tributes. And Lee's thing was he would phone me up and say, "Look, Steve, I've got another album I want you to sing on," and I'd say, "Who is it, Lee? Who is it this time?" Like, because I did Whitesnake, I did the Police, I did everybody. And I remember the phone call one day. I said, "Right, Lee, you want me to come in? What time do you want me?" He said, 1:00. And I said, "Who is it?" He said, "I'm not telling you." I said, "No, tell me me who it is." He said, "If I tell you, you won't come."
Wow.
So I turned up, and he said, because obviously I know the Iron Maiden boys really well. I've known Adrian for many, many years. And I know Yannick, and I know that, they're all people. Well, Adrian I've known for many years, and I turned up, and he said, "I want you to sing 2 Iron Maiden songs." I'm like, "Me? Singing Iron Maiden songs? You think that's going to work?" I said, "I don't sing like Bruce. I can't sing like Bruce." He said, "I don't want you to sing like Bruce." He said, "I want you to sing like you." And I just said, "Really? Will it work?" And I did everything. I did every band under the sun. We did the Rolling Stones. We did everything, and we went through a whole 2 years in the studio called Hatch Farm. And I probably did about 15 of these albums with Lee, different artists. But the Iron Maiden one was very interesting because totally not what I do. So it was a really, really cool challenge to do it, and I like doing things that challenge you, and hopefully it didn't come out too badly, So
good. Do you still do classes for people?
Yeah, I do. Not too many, Brian, because obviously I'm on the road a lot. But I started these things basically because people asked me to, and I kept saying no because I'm not. I know one of the top singing coaches in the UK, a lady called Sonia Jones, who's toured with the Stones and the Who and Pink Floyd, and she's a massively close friend of mine. I've done records with her and sessions with her and stuff. And she made me do it. She forced me to do it. She said, "Look, put it up on your site and see what interest you get, because it'd be a great thing for you to do." I said, "Yeah, but I don't know how to teach people how to sing like I sing." She
Right.
said, "You do." She said, "You do." She
Uh-huh.
said, "You'll be amazed at when people come to you." So I'll put it out there, Brian, just for people that are singers that think that they've lost some degree of their range or their
Right.
voice. I'm not teaching children to sing scales. I'm teaching
Right.
people that already sing.
Right.
So, and I absolutely loved it.
Uh-huh.
I'll do two at one time. I only do one a day because I like to give it time. It's not like come and see me for an hour and then your time's off.
Right.
They can take 6 hours, 7 hours,
Wow. Yeah.
because I want some people to get something out of it when they leave.
Cool.
So, and the first one I did, this guy came in and I had no idea what I was going to do. No
Right.
idea. Came in, he said, "I'm a singer from a band way back. We did 3 albums." He said, "We've reformed, but I've been doing some shows and I've lost the top range of my voice." And I just said, "Okay, no worries." I said, "Sing me the top thing you think, where your top of your range is now." And you could see the guy was just lost all his confidence.
Right.
So
Yeah.
we spent a load of time together that day. By the time he left, he got his top range back. And I don't know how I do it. It's just I can see what they're doing wrong.
Right. Yeah. Wow.
If you'd asked me before he come and said he's lost his top range up, I think, "Oh Christ, how am I going to get this back for him?" I wouldn't have had a clue. But
Yeah.
when he sang to me, I could see where he was going wrong with his face and how he's forming his words and things like that. And so I've now done 6 of them. I love doing them. I'll be stopping now for this year. I'll maybe start again next year.
Right.
And there's already a list of people that want to come. So I love doing them, and I get something out of it because I'm helping people to
Yeah.
to get their confidence back. So to me, it's great. I didn't know whether I would, but I
Right.
love it. I love doing them. Love them.
Cool. Cool. Is it online or is it in person?
No, I won't do them online. I think it's important that because a lot of them are fans, so they get to meet me. The first hour and a half, was me sitting down with them and chatting about. They just want to talk to me about singing and stuff and
Right.
records and things like that. And so I try and do that to make them feel at ease. So it's not just me sitting on a chair saying, "Right, sing."
Right.
That's
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
how it is. It has to be relaxed to get the best out of them. They have to be relaxed. So we might spend an hour just chatting. You know.
Yeah.
So I'd rather do that in person. I think it's important because I can see what I think they're doing wrong, and it's much
Right.
better and I can hear them properly if
Right. Yeah.
they're sitting on a chair opposite me.
Cool.
So a lot of the time I'll just pick up an acoustic guitar and I'll say, "What should we sing?" And they'll
Right.
pick something and I'll say, "Have you got any of your own stuff that you'd like to?" So I went through this guy's album with him and picked a couple of songs to work on,
Right.
and
Yeah.
that's what we did. So I love it because they're all different. Everybody
Uh-huh.
has different things they want out of them, and I love doing them. I really do.
Cool. Cool. Tell me a little bit about the Stax band.
Yeah, the Stax band's an all-star lineup. I got Sonia, who I told you about the
Uh-huh.
sessions, the top stage. She sings backing vocals with. We
Uh-huh.
have Madeline Bell. We have some very famous singers in the Stax band, and they always used famous singers to sing with the band.
Uh-huh.
They had Paul Carrick's sung with them, Steve Winwood's sung with them, lots of very
Uh-huh.
famous singers. But they had the idea they wanted a band singer, somebody that was the singer in the band, so that
Right.
they could then have guest on it. And
Right.
Sonia put me forward for it. I went and met the brains behind it. I mean, the Stax band is like Simply Red's brass section, Tony Remy, who's played with Annie Lennox, and there's everybody. The
Right.
Crusaders,
Uh-huh.
massively famous jazz session guitar player. Um, the backing singers are very famous, like Sonia. You've got Madeline Bell. You've got all these great old soul backing singers. And very famous players play with it. And I mean, since I've been doing it, I've guested with Paul Carrick, I've guested with Lulu, I've guested
Oh
with
yeah.
Beverly Knight,
Uh-huh.
I've guested with Steve Winwood. Was
Wow.
the last one I did at Cornbury. So it's a real buzz for me, bro. I mean, I only do.
Yeah.
I'll get on, and I'm like the warm up act. I'll get on, sing with the band, do 4 songs, then these big stars come on, do their bit. So I
Right.
go on to backing vocals, singing with the girls, and It's great because I get to meet these people and do duets with some fantastic singers, you know.
Cool, cool,
So it's great.
cool. What's your feeling about vinyl coming back?
Oh, well, Firefest is great, isn't it? I love
Yeah,
it because
yeah,
I can walk into the few record stores that are left, like the HMVs in the UK. I don't know what they are in the States, but
right.
and it's all vinyl.
Good.
The CD section has a little place in the corner, and you have
Uh-huh.
your merchandise, but the bulk of the store is now all vinyl again. And isn't it nice to be able to see that vinyl's still that possession thing, the sleeve, everything
Right.
about it is important, you know. So it's
Yep.
not vinyl was never a disposable musical format. You had the artwork, you had
Right.
everything with it. And
Uh,
I just think it's great that it's back. You know, are you
yeah.
a vinyl man? You listen to
I,
vinyl?
I like vinyl especially for the lyrics.
Yeah,
You know, with
great.
the
That's what I
CD,
mean.
I got a microscope to look whatever,
Yeah.
the magnifying
Yeah.
glass trying to look
Yeah.
at the, but like the other thing, and plus if you want to get it autographed,
Yeah.
like it's great, you
Yeah,
know?
exactly. And it's that thing, you just thumbed it up the lyrics.
Right,
Great.
yeah.
And the credits, who produced it, who did this, and you got all that information that you can read. And it's the artwork is important to see. What people don't realize where music's become much more disposable is that the process for me making a record from when I made my first record in 1980 or whatever,
Right,
my first album, basically it's the same. I
right, yeah,
still take as much time on getting a great sleeve together,
right,
making
yeah,
sure the credits are right, checking all the lyrics to get them right on the album. So it's not changed for me. So the
right.
fact that it's now come back to how I started, done a
Wow,
full circle, is fantastic. You know,
cool, cool. And do you get tired of giving out autographs?
no, never. I
No,
mean, without the people that I sign the autographs for, I'd have no job.
right, yeah,
So I never take it for granted that the reason I can carry on touring at my age and still have a whole year on the road, sell the records, and you never get tired of people saying, "I love your new album," because
right,
to you it's come from you, hasn't it? You know,
right, yeah,
and you know it's like you if they say, "Oh, you took some pictures for us," they're amazing. You know,
yeah,
and it's the same buzz, isn't it? Because you've created them. You know,
yeah,
so for me, I never get tired. If every show, I mean, I did a show in Greece, in Athens on Saturday night, and they had an after show thing, and
uh-huh.
we were asked if they could invite some of the fans from the show. So we
Oh,
said yes. I mean, it's you get mauled and you get
right,
yanked around and stuff like
yeah,
that, but it's
uh-huh.
great to talk to the fans, and they're the most important thing. They're the ones that keep you being able to do this. You know. So
Cool,
I never really take that for granted, Brian. I think it's you got to give them time. You know.
cool, cool. What do you think the biggest highlight in your career is?
Wow. I mean, I've had a great career, man. I mean,
Right, yeah,
you're asking me standout tour for me would have been when FM secured the Slippery When Wet tour with Bon Jovi
right,
because
yeah,
Bon Jovi had just become the biggest band in the world and we got the tour. So we were playing to fanatical audiences. It pushed FM to a totally different level. You
right,
know,
yeah,
we after that tour we were headlining the Apollos and the bigger theaters, and so that tour for me and being with that band when, bear in mind, they were an opening act until Slippery When Wet. They were
right,
supporting Rat in the
yeah,
States. You know,
yeah, yeah,
they
yeah,
they came straight off of that tour, came to start the European leg on their own after supporting Rat for their new album Slippery When Wet, and it
right,
went to number one all over the world. So I was with the band when they became the biggest rock band in the world. It was a great thing because it was
right,
almost like they couldn't believe it had happened. It was great, you know.
yeah. I see you have a lot of guitars back there. Do you collect
Yeah,
anything
oh, I've got
else?
lots of them. These are only
Wow.
the ones that stay at home.
Yeah,
These are the
yeah,
ones that
yeah.
stay. This is my music. So that's my brother's old Les Paul. I've got lots of very. These are the vintage ones, and I have the ones I take out on the road are still with the band because I've got three more shows with FM this week. So then I'm done for the year. Done for the year. So back in the studio finishing the new album. You know.
Cool, cool. So I guess expect a new album next year.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Right, right,
Definitely.
right.
Yeah.
Wow, unbelievable. You got some career. You know a lot of people. You know, it's
Well,
nice,
it's.
nice.
I think it's just like you. You seem like a nice man. I've never burned
Uh-huh.
any bridges. So you basically if you don't burn any bridges, your
Uh-huh.
career just goes on and on, doesn't it? You know, you because people come out the woodwork that I haven't worked with for many years, and they say, "Steve, would you do this for me?" And I love it. I love all the working with different people. I think it brings the best out of you, you know, and I still enjoy it just as much as I did when I started, Brian. You know,
Cool.
I've never ever got to the point, you know, where I get tired of it. It's more tiring now because I'm older, but still love it. Still love it. You know, still love it the same.
Cool. So, what are your hopes for this album? I mean, I see great reviews, and you know, people are already saying that's the best album of the year. You know,
Yeah, no, it's been great. I just, you know, all I hope for records is I hope the world gets to hear it. You know, because I think it is a great album, and I think, you know, I just hope that everybody gets a chance to hear it because I think, you know, with Kings of Mercia or the FM records or whatever I'm doing, it's getting it out there. I'd love to do some dates with Kings of Mercia because I think it brings the band alive. It makes it real, you know. So that's something that I've talked to Jim about, and I'd love to do in the future, you know.
Cool. Do you do social media? Do you contact or fans contact you through either Facebook or Instagram or?
Yeah, I have a Facebook page, Brian. I mean, I'm useless at social media. I'm like a dinosaur. I'm terrible at it, you know. So I have a guy who runs it for me, or a couple of guys. But everything that goes to my page, Steve Overland Official, I get. Obviously, FM have their own site and everything. It's a bigger thing. But I also have my own thing. So if anybody wants to contact me for sessions, which they do all the time through Steve Overland Official, and then they get sent to me by Scott, my guy will send it to me and say, "Look, this has come through, Steve." That's how I got the Stacks thing.
Cool.
I was on the road. He sent me this thing through saying, you know, you've been contacted. What would you like me to do? And I'll just tell him. He'll then put me in touch with whoever I need to be put in touch with. You know. So, but I'm useless. I don't have a personal Steve Overland Facebook page at all. You know.
A lot of people don't do personal, you know, sites anymore. Everybody goes to Facebook and Instagram. If you go to a newer band and you look for their, you know, official site, it goes right to Facebook.
Yeah,
so, you know, why have a official site anymore?
Yeah. So no, that's it. So lots of stuff comes through. It keeps, you know, it keeps coming. It's fantastic, you know. So long may it continue. That's all I can say. You know.
Cool. Well, Steve, congratulations on the new album. Continued success. I don't think you need that. You're all doing great. You know. Would you like to say anything to the fans out there?
Yeah, just thank you for being with me for so long. And the great thing about the fans of all the music I do is they take on board the different things I do.
Right.
So thanks for sticking with, like, Kings of Mercy is obviously not FM and vice versa, but they're very, very open to things I do, you know, and, you know, thank you for being there and well, enabling me to keep doing this because I love it, you know.
Cool. Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you, my man. It's great to talk to you, Ryan. I'll speak to you for the next album, yeah?
Okay, bye-bye.
Yeah, see you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.